Hey guys, Kelvin here. So I'm just going to show you guys intro to Figma. So I'm going to mix or join Wednesday's class and Friday's class. So Wednesday 13th and Friday's class of on the 15th of March 2024. So I'm merging together. So basically, intro to Figma, www.figma.com, right? So input it in. Bear with me, my network is a bit laggy, so it might be a bit slow to load, right? So um, after that, just wait for it to load. So I guess we've all registered, so we already know how to register. So registering on Figma is pretty much easy. It's just like registering on you know the likes of Facebook and the rest, like every other platform that you usually register. So you just follow through the process one after the other. Click what you know that you are doing as a freelancer and all of those things. Yeah. So let's just give it a few minutes and wait for it to load. So now it has opened, right? You would see your dashboard here, right? As long as you've registered, you see your dashboard, right? So you have an account with Figma, you see your name here. You can explore Figma community, right? You go to community profile, you can explore the community, right? You can also explore it from here, whichever one you want, right? So now in recent, this is where you see all the files and different things you've created recently, right? This is where you are going to see it, right? Then we have your themes and we also have drafts, right? So make sure you're always on draft or you're always on recent, right? So either recent or draft, right? You can see it here. So let me magnify my mouse so you can see this here. Please kindly follow my mouse so that you can know what I'm working on at a particular time, right? So we have that. So now we'll come over to this, right? Design file, right? We'll come over to this and we'll click on design file. So when you click on it, you give it time, see it will load. After it has finished loading, right, we've succeeded in creating a new file, right? We've created a new file, right? So now at this point here on Figma, we have the Figma icon, right? This is the Figma logo here. Kindly look at my mouse where I'm connected to, right? Can you see it? The Figma logo. Under this place here, you see, if you hover on it, it will show you main menu, right? Under it, you see your back to files. You can go back to your dashboard. You can see file where you can input new files or create a new file other than this one. You can do so many things here. Then we have the move tool, right? The move tool is basically what you use to move your shapes around the um workspace or the work area, right? The next one you have the the frame tool, right? The frame tool is basically the container you use to design any mobile app or website, right? So if you notice when you click on this frame tool, this part here on your right hand, this panel, the right hand panel, is going to populate, right? So it will show you the types of frames available, right? You can choose iPhone 13 mini, 14 and all of those, right? Then you can choose tablets, you can choose desktop, right? You can choose presentation. You can, if you want to design an Apple Watch, interface for an Apple Watch, you can do this as well, right? So different things you can choose. Anyone you want to work with, you can work with, right? So then we have the rectangle tool. Under it, you have shape, different shapes, right? Shapes that are available here. We have the rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, that's circle, polygon, for different kinds of polygon. It can be octagon, it can be hexagon, right? Star shape, and also you can impute images or videos, right? So then the next one we have is the pen tool, right? Under the pen tool, we have the pen tool, I have the pencil tool is to draw customized shapes, right? Then the next one we have is the text tool. The text tool is to type different kinds of text. Then we have the resources tool where you can get components, plugins, and widgets, right? That's basically that. Then we have the hand tool. The hand tool is to move um frames from one place to the other. Then we have the comment tool. The comment tool is to leave a comment on a specific point where you need changes. So a situation whereby um you are working with your with the owner of the website or the person that gave you the job, you can basically click, they can use these comments to comment on your project, either a website or a mobile app. They can send write a comment on a specific part. So if there is a button, let's say let me go online now and bring in an image. Let me bring in an image Just hold on a few seconds. um so let's say I bring in this image. All right, let me bring in an image. I'm trying to paste something. I pray network permits us. Okay, so now this is a landing page, right? So now let's say I want to drop a comment that they should change this button to from white to black. I will just use this my comments to come to this place and add change button to blue. Say change button color. Sorry, the change the button's color to blue. Then I press this button that says submit, right? So now you notice on this place here, it's going to be here to say that Kelvin has added a comment, right? So anytime maybe another designer comes, if you click it, you see it change the button's color to blue. Now immediately I know where to go to. I don't start looking for other buttons. I know this that is exactly this button I need to, because can you see it will point to this place. It will point to the place, right? So that's basically how it works, right? Okay, so that's what comment is. Okay, so on this part here you have drafts. Then you can also change the name your file. So to name your file, double click on it and type what you want. So let and name this practice, right, and press enter. So now the name of the file is called practice. Then this part where you can see your DP, more like you are the the um owner of the project. Then this place here you have share. So share, this is where you can share a link to someone so that person can view what you are designing, right? You can share the link. You can do different things from here, right? So you can share the link. You can invite people, type their email, right? Then invite them, click on invite. Also, while you're inviting them, you can choose which privilege they are going to have. So we have can edit, can view, right? So if you put that they can edit, that means they can also make changes to your work. If you put they can only view, that means they can only view your work without making edits to it, right? So that's basically that. So then yeah, so that's what share is about. Then this is to switch from designer mode to developer mode, but this is not for designers, so we have to leave this out, right? Then we have the prototype where you can view your prototype, right? That's that. Then we have design and prototype. So this design is, always make sure for now our panel is always showing design. Prototype is when you want to start linking frames, one frame to the other, right? So we have that. Okay, so now let's head to creating um a simple sign up form, right? A very simple sign up form. Okay, so now we'll click on the frame tool. The frame tool is basically what you use to create any interface. So I want to design a mobile screen that allows you to sign up, right? So you click on the frame tool, right? Then you go to phone, choose iPhone 13 mini, right? So now we have iPhone 13 mini. Okay, then the next thing we do is to start working on the design, right? So to work on the design, you need to know what design do you want to um what kind of thing do you want to do, right? So we have we have different kinds of designs that you can decide to work with, but we're working on creating a simple sign up page for a fintech app, right? So to design something like that, the basic thing um you usually see when you are creating a fintech, or when you are registering on a fintech app, right? um you would definitely have to see same here, right? Just give me a second. um Trying to gather my thoughts together. All right, so now it's very simple to get to create something like that. So now we've created a frame. The next thing we'll do is come up with a logo. So now um we can just go online to download the logo, but I have network issues now, so I doubt if I'll be able to get um you know but what I'll do is go into my system and see if I have any logo to make use of, or let's just type the logo. So I'll just create a simple logo that I can make use of here. So I'm zooming in. You use your control and plus key on your keyboard to zoom in, then to zoom out, control and minus. If you're using a Mac system, control command and plus, command and minus. All right, so that's that. Okay, so now you notice that immediately I created a shape, right? The circle. There is this properties panel has been populated by the left here. Remember when I clicked on frame, it was showing me types of phones. Now I'm creating a shape, it's now showing me different things, right? Reason is because for everything I am clicking, or for everything that is selected per time, it is going to populate the properties of what has been selected or what is selected. All right, so now I've selected this circle, so this is what is going to start showing here, right? So on this properties panel now we have this part where the alignment tools, you have align to the left, align to the middle, align to the right, align to the top, align to the middle in vertical way, align to the bottom, right? So the difference between this align to the middle, this one and this one is from left to right, then this one is from top to bottom. That's what this works for, right? So then we have the x and y axis. So the x and y axis is basically um a a is basically there to make it's basically there for positioning, right? It's basically there for positioning, so you can basically know that okay, this is where the location of each um object on the screen. So if I click on it, it's going to show me the location of this object. So if I drag it, it will move the object. So x and y is just to determine the location. So I can also move it. If I move it here, you notice the x and y is also moving as well, right? So we have that. Okay, so then the next thing is the w and h. W and h is the width and the height, right? So always make sure that, okay, that if you increase, if you drag it or whatever you do to it, your w and h will always make moves, right? So now, what the w and h is, like I said, width and height, but you can adjust them manually, like one after the other. But for you to be able to adjust them manually, that they have independent sizes, all you need to do is break this chain, like break the chain rather. You just have to break the chain. By default, maybe your chain might be broken already. It is going to look like this. To know if the chain is broken, there will be no dash in between these two locks, right? Then if the chain is joined together, there's going to be a dash. But if there is no, if the chain is locked, there's going to be a line. If it's not locked, there's not going to be a line, right? So now when there's no line, you can basically change change it, right? So let's say 200, we add 200. You can see it has increased it, but the width did not increase, right? Because this chain was not locked. So a situation whereby I lock the chains, if I say 200, it will increase on both sides, both up and down, right? So that's what the difference is. So then this one is for rotating, but you cannot rotate a circle because a circle is already round, right? Then we have the fill. Remember I said this constraint and this layer, we will not talk about it currently for now. So the fill is basically for you to choose colors. So you click on this little box here and you can change the color of um you can change the color of the subject, right? So this entire big space here is more like, we'll call it a department of red, right? So it displays the department of each color you select from this slider here, right? So if we move it to green, it has changed it to a department of entirely green. So you have all shades of green, all sorts of green, right, available here. So if you switch it to sky blue, you have all shades of sky blue. Dark blue, we have all types of blue. The purple, we have all types of purple. Red, we have all types of red. Yellow, we have all types of yellow. So you decide what kind of color you want. So it is from this place here you control it. So you can decide to slide and you can decide to click around. Then this is where you're not going to change it. Then this is to reduce the opacity, that is the transparency. You want it to be transparent, that you can see something behind it. This is where you do it, right? You can decide to use this slider or you use this figure here. You can use this figure here to be able to change the transparency as well. So instead of carrying this slider, if you want it to have a specific number, you can just type 50 and it will adjust it automatically. So that's that, right? So we have that, right? So I want to just create a logo. I'll call this Bayfort Bank. Or no, let me just call it pay something pay fast pay. So call this fast pay. We'll make it bold, then increase the font to somewhere 17, right? So we have this. Then now I just want to, you know I'm pressing like the enter key to make it go to the next line, right? Or I can decide to leave it on same line, but I'll now change it to white. All right, then I can decide to reduce the size, let's say to 13. Then we can fix the logo inside. All right, so we have this. Or better still, let me say I make this, I draw another rectangle. All right, we make this white. Right, now remember this white, the rectangle is on top of the text. So you come to your layers panel here, notice you can see the rectangle fast pay is under the rectangle, then the ellipse too, right? So now for me to move the fast pay, I need to drag it, click and drag it to be above the rectangle. So I click and I drag it above the rectangle, then it's going to appear here. But the thing is, it is white, so you can't see it. So I will go to this place here and change the color to this same blue. All right, so I've changed it to the same blue, but the thing is I don't want this kind of blue, so I would look for a different shade of blue that works for me. Right, so I'll come to this place here. Can you see the hex code? I will copy it because I want this text to also have the same blue. So I'll also come to this place here and paste it, Ctrl V. So it will have, so that they can have the same blue. All right, so now let's say I leave this here. Now I want to group it so that if I move it, the entire logo can always move. Right, to make that happen, all I need to do is click somewhere around, like outside somewhere here, click and drag, sorry, click and drag. Once I click and drag, you notice that I've highlighted everything, all the elements together. If you can't do that, you can come to your layer panel here and select everything you want to highlight at the same time. So you hold your shift, right? You click on fast pay, you click on rectangle, you click on the ellipse shape, and you've selected it as well, right? So when you've done that, you press Ctrl G or Command G depending on the system you're using. If you're using Windows, Ctrl G. If you are using a Mac, Command G, right? Or you right click and say group selection. It's the same thing. Then when you've grouped it, you notice you have group 1 on your layer panel, right? Then you see this arrow here, this drop down, you click on it, you notice that everything is still under, right? So now we have this. Now it allows me to move it the way I feel like moving it, right? So that's basically how it works. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll say we'll start putting the form that's on based on how it works, right? So I would just quickly think about how um it's supposed to be, right? So I would just quickly come up with something. Just give me a second. Okay, so all we just need to do is just basically create. So I think we'll just first of all put sign up, right? We'll make this 20, right? Then we centralize it. Make sure you work with these red lines that show at interval. All right, so we can have this. All right, So we can say sign up, or we increase it to like 25 and we align it to the middle, right? The next thing we do is to create another, um the first name, right? So we have the first name. Now we reduce this size to 15 and we change it from bold to medium. All right, so then we have it somewhere here. We have it somewhere here. Then now create the input box where people can type. All right, so we come to rectangle and we create this. Okay, now we zoom in to make sure we have it in the right place. All right, so now we centralize this. Okay, then the next thing we do is to make it have corner radius. Remember I said that you notice this this rectangle, now we can have different corners. Okay, so we just have different corners, so we can put it, let's say 7, right? Impute the figure here, 7. All right, then the next thing we do is we just basically leave it this way. Or now on this rectangle, right, we have, if you come to the properties panel, you notice there's fill, then it's also stroke, there's effect, and there's export, right? So this fill now is this color inside, then the stroke is the outline that would be, right? But it's definitely is currently not there, so we reduce this fill. Now we want it to be a little bit of white. We don't want this gray color or ash color. We want it to be just be a little bit white. All right, you notice where I moved this to. Then the next thing, we go to stroke. On stroke, now once you click stroke, you notice this black line is around it. Now this stroke, we want it to have the same blue with this because of brand color. Now we'll click on this place here. This is called the eyedropper tool. Eyedropper is to pick colors from from anywhere. All right, we'll use this eyedropper to click on it. We'll now come to this place and pick the color, because we want exactly this shade. Yes, it's blue, but not any kind of blue, so we want exactly this kind of blue. So pick the blue color, and we have this. All right, so now you can decide to increase, let us increase the thickness of this outline a little bit, so we can make it 2, and you press enter. So I think it's a little bit too thick, so what you can do is make it 1.5. I think this works. All right, so we can decide to, change, can decide to change color, or do basically just have fun with it. Okay, so to do that, let's try changing the color and see how it's gonna look like. Okay, well, I don't like the way it's blue, but I feel it shouldn't be so black, like it shouldn't be so dark, so we'll just reduce it. Can you see I'm playing around this gray color. All right, so it should be somewhere here. All right, then I'll move this to be close. Okay, so now we have this, then we highlight it, right? I just clicked and drag, highlight, then press Ctrl J again to group it. Okay, so now we have group 2, right? So now we just want to duplicate this to have other names, BVN, and all of those things, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll hold my Alt key if I'm using a Windows. If you're using your Mac, option, you click option. So look on your Windows laptop, you see ALT. hold it down. When you hold it down, you notice the mouse has become two, like it has become double, right? Then you hold your selection key down, hold both of them together, then you click and you drag. All right, you click and you drag, then you just position it nicely below the initial first one. Then we have this. All right, let me do it one more time so you guys can understand. So this is it. You'd hold your alt key, alt on your Windows. On your Mac is called the option key. You hold the alt, right? Then you hold down your selection key, then you click and drag, right? Then you place it under this initial first one. So now we have this. Now please don't click any other place, because we want to duplicate it and maintain the same spacing in between them, right? So now immediately you duplicate, don't click anywhere else, press Ctrl D. Now you notice it begins to duplicate it many times, so we need just 5 input fields, right? This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Now we duplicate to have 5, right? So we have 5 now. Okay, we have 5. That's basically that. Then we draw another rectangle for the button. Okay, so we draw a rectangle here for the button, so you align it to the middle. Okay, round the edges to be somewhere around, let's say 7 as well, because it needs to be uniform. The edges around it needs to be uniform with this. Then we pick the color. All right, let's use your eyedropper tool. You pick this color. Okay, when you pick it, you notice that the color has changed, right? So how did we change it? After drawing a rectangle, we made the edges rounded. Come to this fill here, you click on this fill, right? Now we want to pick the exact blue that is here. You hold your eyedropper tool, click on your eyedropper tool, and you pick this color. So now the color has changed. Now use our text tool. Shortcut for it is T, letter T on your keyboard. We now type sign up. Right now we've clicked sign up, then we change this to bold. Okay, then you centralize it. Can you see when I'm moving it around, I can see this red line, so it means it's centralized both vertical and horizontal, right? So this is also a button, so we have to group the rectangle and the text saying sign up together to make it join it together. So just click around, click and drag. Can you see it? Click and drag, then you press Ctrl G or Command G if you are using a Mac, Command G if you are using a Windows laptop, Ctrl G, right? Let me take it one more time again. You click somewhere around it, click it and you drag, right? You press Command G. If you don't see that, you come to the layers here, click on sign up, hold your shift and click on rectangle. So now you've selected both of them. You press Ctrl G or Command G. If you cannot press Ctrl G or Command G, you right click and say group selection. All right, now you have that. Okay, so now it's time for us to change these names, right? So these labels, so we change this to last name. The next one will be phone number. So now for you to be able to edit this, remember that in groups you double click, right? You double click. So when you double click twice, you do it very fast. 1 2, you double click, you are able to edit it, right? You type phone number, we'll come to this one again, double click, you change this to BVN, you come to this one, you double click, you change this to password, capital letter password. If you notice, when I'm typing, I make sure that they all start with capital letters, except BVN, that is an acronym which they have to be all capital letters. but the rest they start with capital letter, end with small letter, start with capital letter, end with small letter. So it's very important, right? So we have this. Now the next thing we do is for password. You notice that when you are typing a password, there is an icon, an eye icon, like an eyeball, that allows you to hide the password, or you know reveal the password. So we're going to put that eye icon here now. So to be able to do that, double click on it to open the rectangle. You right click, go to your plugins and say click on iconify. Now if you have network issues, like currently I'm having network issues, my iconify might not open, but I think it's opening now. So I'll type on I, right? Then I click on it, then I click on import icon. Import icon, not import as components, import icon. You click on import icon, then you close it. Now you see it has appeared here, right? So now we position it, but the thing is, it is behind it, because on my layer, can you see it on my layer? It is under password and the rectangle. So you drag it on this layer here, you hold it down, hold your selection key and drag. Can you see this white line that is thick around here, that is moving with me? So when it's above the rectangle, you leave it, right? So we have this. Now we have to change the color of this eye to be blue because of the brand color, right? So we come to selection colors, not fill now, selection colors. Click on it and you use your eyedropper tool to change it to blue, okay, so that it can be in uniform format, right? So we have this. Now you also need to create the one that also when they click it is going to, the eyes is going to be closed, right? So you right click again, go to plugin, click on iconify, right? So you click on iconify, and so I've already typed I already, right? So now you need to look for the one that is closed. So allow it to load. So I'm having network issues. Let's see. I'm trying to look for the one that is closed, right? So now I either choose to use, I think I have to use this one. It mustn't be closed. It means that don't see my password, all right? So you click on this one, you drag this panel and say import icon, right? So we have this one too. Make sure you align it directly on top of this, right? But if you notice, when you are trying to align it on top of this, it would enter this other part. You don't want that. So you go to the layer panel, click on it and drag it on top, right? So even if you have something like this, let me show you. Even if you have something like this that is outside it, all right, sorry, let me adjust this. When if you have something like this, you can select both of them, come to this place, right, this horizontal alignment, you align it together, all right. Now then you now position two of them. Remember I selected two of them, the two layers, with shift, holding shift, right? So we have this. So now you now have to turn off one, but let's, in the first place, let's make this one blue as well. So you come to your selection colors, hold your eyedropper tool, come to this place here, this blue, and select the blue, okay. So now you can turn off one and turn it on. Can you see I'm turning it off, right? So it's just like in um when you do those mobile apps, you notice that you can turn off the password or turn it on. So it's the same thing I'm doing. Okay guys, so this is basically a very easy way to design a sign up page. So we are going to go more in depth with this, but this is just like an intro to basically how to design a simple screen on Figma, right? So if you have any questions, you can always replay the video to get more explanation and all of those things. Okay, so with this, please you guys to try and you know practice more on it, and you get better the more you practice. Thank you so much for watching.